Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of EcoVenture GSO. I'm Mikey Romano.
And I'm Crystal Jones.
And today we're gonna do an episode that works year round for you, even though it's kind of frigid right now, as evinced by, Crystal's frostbite. But basically today we're gonna talk about fishing. We're gonna talk about a lot of different types of fishing you can do, be it on a boat, off a pier, that kind of thing. Some of the different things you can fish for, and some stuff that's specific to the city lakes, so you know what's in your backyard. Sound like fun?
Sure does.
Do you want to tell them about your surprise?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay. So, you guys stick with us. Not only are we going to have the next trout shipment come to stock our pond here, but Crystal is going to show us how to do a little fly fishing with a fly rod.
I'll try.
Right? Mm-hmm. Right. So, please stick with us for that. It's going to be a lot of fun, and come on along and go fishing with us. So right now, we're gonna talk a little bit about how to, go to the lakes and either rent a boat or drop your own in to do a little bit of fishing. So all the lakes are pretty much similar, so you can kind of use these tips to go to any of the city lakes and have yourself a fun day out. So most of the time you go there and there's an attendant waiting for you.
Well, hello.
Well, hello, how are you?
Very well. Welcome to Lake Higgins.
Thank you, I'm so happy to be here.
How can I help you today?
I wanna go fishing.
Great. Do you have your own boat?
Let's say I do.
Wonderful. Well, is it a power boat?
I mean,
does it have a motor on it?
Besides me, yes. I do have a small motor on it, yes.
Okay, well that'll be $10 and I just need you to sign in here.
Great. Do you take cards or cash or?
Yes and yes.
Okay, here, let's take a card.
Okay, great.
Thank you very much. And I'm gonna sign in here.
Yes, please.
Okay. Blah, 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 blah. Right? Okay, so now are there any rules or restrictions for me going out?
Well, it is a fishing only lake.
Okay.
And so we don't allow any pleasure boating here. So we do expect you to be fishing. You just go out to your spot, pick a spot, fish, and then you can go to your other spot. Be aware that there are kayaks and other boats on the lake, so you want to be aware of that.
Okay. Oh, that sounds great. That sounds fun. And then I've got to be in about a little bit before you guys close, I'm guessing?
Right. Well, it's winter right now, so we close at 5 and we ask that you're off the lake and trailered up and ready to go by 5 o'clock.
Okay, beautiful.
4:30, I lied, 4:30.
4:30, gotcha. That sounds a little bit better, gotcha. All right, so that's me bringing my own boat. If I didn't have my own boat, because I work for the city, no, kidding. But if I didn't have my own boat, can I borrow one of yours?
You certainly can.
Okay.
During this season, which is winter right now, we offer the rowboats for rent, and they are $15 for the day.
You want my car back again?
Absolutely.
Okay.
You can bring your own motor up to 10 horsepower.
Okay.
Also provide you with oars and a life jacket, and they do seat up to 3 people.
Okay, that sounds great. That sounds good. Now, if it wasn't winter, you would be renting kayaks, paddleboards, that kind of stuff, correct?
Absolutely. You cannot fish out of any of those boats. The only fishing that we allow is in our rowboats.
Okay, I got you. That sounds a little safer since you don't want hooks and whatnot to get hidden in the bottom of kayaks or people's bare feet and whatnot.
Exactly.
I know I don't like hooks in my feet.
You don't?
No, it's not fun.
I don't either.
No, and nobody wants to pull those out.
No.
Okay, that's great. So I can rent a boat, I can put my own boat in, or on other times of the year I can borrow a different boat that's not for fishing.
That's right.
That sounds awesome. That's great.
With your boat that you bring, though, it does need to be either multi-chambered if it's a blow-up kind of boat, and it does need to be Coast Guard approved.
You mean like the rowboat with a motor has to be a blow-up one?
No, your canoe or your canoe, kayak, or paddle board.
That I cannot
all of
fish
those
off.
that you cannot.
I got you.
You
Now,
can fish off your own.
If I bring my own kayak, can I fish off it?
Yes, you can.
Oh, okay. So I just can't fish off of yours.
That's correct.
Beautiful. That sounds amazing.
You can get your own hooks in your own kayak and get those out of your feet all by yourself.
Okay, that's great. One more question, because I've never been here before.
Ever?
Ever. Fishing licenses. Do I need one?
Anywhere you fish in the state of North Carolina, you're going to need a fishing license unless it's on private property, and we don't check them, but we do. You can purchase one here, or you can purchase it online or at a sporting goods store.
Okay, great. And I know. So you said you don't check them.
No, we don't. I don't personally. I'm not going to ask you for your fishing license.
Okay, I gotcha. But it's up to me. Like if a Fish and Wildlife officer comes out, and they want to check it, that's on my own recognizance, basically.
Absolutely.
Like, it's my fault if I don't have one. So
Well,
it's
yes.
probably good to have a fishing license if I'm going to go out fishing.
Very important to have your fishing license with you.
Beautiful. All right. Well, thank you very much. I don't know how many times you charged my card, but I appreciate it.
Several dozen.
Okay. Thank you very much. I'm glad to hear that. But you have a wonderful day, and I'm going to go fishing.
All right. Well, good luck. Hope you catch a big one.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Hey, by the way, guys, almost forgot to tell you, a really good practice is that whenever you are bringing your boat out of the water to rinse it off, drain your live wells, that kind of thing, this helps prevent the transport of hydrilla and other invasive water weeds from one body of water to the next. So always a good practice to have, whether you're in one of our lakes or anywhere else. So the more you know. So another thing you can do if fishing's kind of up your alley for the day and you don't want to go out on a boat or rent one or have one of your own, you can go pier fishing. So we have piers at each of the city lakes, and it's great. You can come out, you can bring up to 2 rods, you know, cast off, catch some fish. They've got a nice long pier to kind of get you out into the deeper water, and you can catch catfish, bass, crabby, all kinds of fun stuff right off the pier. Couple of quick rules of etiquette. Just remember, there's a lot of people on the pier. If it's a nice day out, make sure when you're casting or moving around, you're not catching anybody with your hooks or line or whatnot, because while it could be funny, it will ruin both of your days. In addition to the fact that I don't want to do the paperwork. Also, when you're all done, make sure you pack out all your trash. Any hooks you've cut off or line, you don't want it to get into the lakes or the surrounding nature area, because it's really harmful to wildlife. So make sure you get that, your trash, bring everything you brought in, including children, out with you. Otherwise than that, enjoy pier fishing. It's a great day. It's sunny. You know, it's just good way to spend some time and relax a little bit.
The reason we have these great piers at all 3 of our lakes is because we don't allow bank fishing. I do get a lot of questions as to why we don't allow bank fishing. Our city lakes are for drinking water, and one of the main reasons we don't allow bank fishing is because there's a lot of green space around our lakes, and that helps filter our water before it gets into our watershed. And if you're traipsing all over the grass, you are killing the natural filtration to help keep the sediment, which is the biggest pollutant of our lakes, out of our lakes. Where we do allow bank fishing, however, is at our trout pond. So let's go there now. We're gonna get a delivery of trout out of this truck behind us into our pond right here, which is a little pond over here at Lake Higgins that you can trout fish in the winter from. You do have to pay for the fish by the pound, and it is $2 to fish in the pond. And this is so exciting. I am so super excited.
So, hanging out here with Bryce, who is from Cantrell Creek Hatchery.
Yes,
Or
sir.
is that correct?
Yeah, Cantrell Creek Trout Farm.
Trout Farm, sorry, my apologies. You just said that like 4 minutes ago. I have a great retention, like a fish. So anyway, you just dropped, how many trout did you get?
800 pounds.
800 pounds,
Yeah.
okay. Different sizes?
Yeah, so we had 11 to 13s and 13 to 16s, some big ones for people to catch, and a good amount of head in there.
Awesome, that's awesome. Thank you very much for coming and bringing those.
Of course.
The cool show. So question, I know, we asked for them, of course, but what's the big allure of trout? Why are you not dumping like carp in there for people to fish? Why do they want trout?
Well, trout are native to the area. They're fun to catch. We got to bring them out because, they're freshwater species. They like cold weather, so we typically bring them in winter. That's our harvest season.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now, I know we get them in the colder weather. Why do we not get them in the warmer weather?
Well, they have a range of temperatures that they like, and it's right below 70 degrees, typically around 50 to 60 is ideal. So, yeah, they like the cold water.
All right, so these guys are great here in the winter, but in the warmer months, when the lake or the pond gets kind of warm, they wouldn't do so well.
Yeah, it gets too warm for them, and they might come belly up.
I got you.
Yeah.
So you really wouldn't find trout in the wild around here. You'd find them more towards the mountains, I'm guessing?
Yeah, towards the mountains, up in the tributaries and things like that.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's great.
Yeah.
Now you dropped rainbow trout in here, right?
Yeah, rainbow trout, yeah.
Okay, very good. Do you guys keep other, like raise
Yeah,
other
we
trout?
have rainbows, we have brooks, we have browns, and we have a couple tiger trout, and that's a mix between the brooks and the browns. They look really cool.
Why don't we get those?
Yeah.
I want tiger trout next. That's just
Yeah.
it's like fun.
Yeah.
Do they taste different? Do they act? What's the?
Well, you know, being on the farm, I have a couple perks. I can take a couple home, and I like the brook trout the most. They kind of have like a golden color
Okay.
fillet, and it's really soft.
Okay.
It tastes really good.
Very, very
Yeah.
cool. But I know a lot of people love some rainbows.
Yeah,
around
the
here.
rainbow's the best.
That's really cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
So is there anything like any cool facts that are special to trout that we wouldn't find in any of our lake fish right now? Aside from the fact they don't like the warm or anything like that?
Well, they look pretty.
They look pretty,
They
okay.
have all the rainbow allure, the colors to them, and you know, they're kind of hard to catch.
Okay.
You know, everyone in Pisgah always goes fly fishing, and it's really tactical, hard to do. You gotta make the different flies that are like, you know, their food web, what they go after.
Okay, cool. So
Yeah.
there's a little bit more fun a way to catch them
Yeah.
than the normal, you know.
It's a little bit more intimate.
Very
Yeah,
cool. That's
yeah.
awesome. Well, cool. Thank you so much for
Yeah,
talking
of
with us.
course,
Really
yeah.
appreciate it. Thanks for coming down. And,
Yeah, of course.
And hopefully we'll see you 2 or 3 more times this year to bring us some more trout.
Yeah, good luck catching them.
Awesome. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
So like Crystal said, you can't do a lot of bank fishing at the city lakes, but there is one spot you can go bank fishing, and that's at our trout pond. So if you don't have a dock, you've got to go bank fishing. And there's a lot of cool different ways that you can do this. We have catfish in there, and in the colder months, we stock it with rainbow trout for everybody to catch. When it comes to fishing, there is tons and tons of equipment and knowledge that you can learn for years on end and still learn some more. So a couple of the basic stuff that you can use: rod and reel. Some people like an open reel like this. Some people, especially the kids, like a nice closed reel like this, where you just hit the button, the line can flow out. So when you're casting, you kind of get on there. You can use different kinds of hooks, lures, baits, you know, all that kind of stuff. You can use live bait, you can use just some kind of food or artificial bait. Also, a big thing that trout fishermen like, not so much in a trout pond like this, but if you're doing it in the wild, is fly fishing, which is what Crystal's doing right now. Crystal, do you want to talk about fly fishing a little bit?
Absolutely. Well, I'm a very novice fly angler, and this is a fly rod. And so the basic idea is that this imitates what the trout would typically eat. And trout typically eat just like flies and aquatic creatures, and sometimes bugs will fly to the top and they'll come up and grab those, some beetles. And so depending on what kind of fly you use, it imitates what they eat out in the wild. So that's very good for you to fish for trout with.
Now, do you cast it like normal, or do you have a special way to cast it since it's a different looking rod and reel?
Well, it is a little bit different way of casting. With those rods, the push rod and then the flip rod, you know, you're just throw it out there. This one is more of a technique which I don't really have down yet.
But you're gonna show us, right?
I'll try really hard to show you. Essentially,
I'm gonna stand back while you show us.
Please do stand back. You have a little dip right here, and that is where what's the meaty part of your thumb rest, and then you just put your thumb straight out from there. Your line goes out, and you're gonna hold that with one of your fingers. I typically do with my second finger, and then you just use your elbow and not your wrist to go back and forth, and let a little more line out, and back and forth, and eventually you will hit the water, and that kind of acts like a fly or insect, and then it drops down, and sometimes you will catch a fish.
Okay, cool. So, since you're amazing at that, no, I really do. I think you're super at it. You know what that makes you, right?
What, a super fly?
Super fly, absolutely, absolutely. In fact, you're so good at that, I would even call you Lord.
Lord?
Yeah, of the flies.
Nice.
I think so. So this is good for trout. This is good for not only on the pond, but if you're out in the, fishing in like mountain streams, flowing rivers, and that kind of stuff. It's really a big passion that people spend years perfecting and learning about, and they really, really love it. We've talked mostly about stuff in like freshwater ponds, lakes, but there's lots and lots of different fishing equipment. There's ocean rods and reels and whatnot else that are much, much bigger and used to cast further out past the surf break. But you could spend years learning about all the different equipment, all the different techniques, and it's a lot of fun. This is only like a little taste of it, but the rest of it is up to you guys, so enjoy learning. All right, everybody, so thanks again for visiting with us on another EcoVenture GSO. I think we had some fun today, right?
Absolutely.
Learned a little bit about fishing, what you can and can't do with some of the city lakes, or some information you can take anywhere you want to go play. Right? We saw the trout go into the pond and got to talk to Bryce from Cantrell Creek and learn a little bit more about that kind of stuff. Learned about some equipment and some cool techniques, and Crystal got to teach us all about fly fishing.
Fly is a strong word, but it was a lot of fun to demonstrate what little I know.
I learned a lot more than I ever knew, and I gotta say, it's a lot easier when you're hanging out with somebody who's so fly. Sorry, there was no way I couldn't do that. Anyway, thanks very much for visiting with us on another EcoVenture GSO. I'm Mikey Romano.
I'm Crystal Jones.
And until next time, guys, happy fishing.